Hello friends, this is Durga. So now we'll start seeing how to set up Hadoop cluster on VMs. So let me talk about prerequisites to set up Hadoop clusters on VMs. You need to have at least 16 GB RAM because we'll be having multiple virtual machines to set up the cluster. And for that we need to have virtualization software, and also you need to at least have 100 GB of free space because we'll be allocating at least 20 GB on each of the four nodes. So at least if you have 100 GB free space, it will be good. And we will see how it works. So at the higher level, Hadoop cluster is categorized into three: clients, typically one or two, and masters, typically probably in single digit, around 7 to 10 in a very large clusters, for very large clusters. And then slaves will be typically tens to hundreds. So typical most of the organizations, when they start this production cluster, they will start with 30-40 nodes, and it can go up to 400 500 for a medium size to large size enterprise. And for technology companies, very large technology companies like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, it can get into thousands also. So this is the higher level view. uh, Let me put it in the slideshow. This is the higher level view of the enterprise. You have clients, masters, slaves, and then typically you will be getting data into Hadoop from several sources. It could be RDBMS, it could be closed systems, it could be open systems like websites, or third-party companies or anything. And all these things have to go through Hadoop ecosystem through clients. So that's where the clients will chip in. Typically, the clients will have the very higher amount of storage because it has to stage um, lot of data before loading into Hadoop cluster. So typically they will be very high and very high volume file servers with a bunch of softwares that are deployed on that, typically as a client. And now we will see a typical Hadoop cluster, how it will look like. So typically we will have one or two clients, tens to hundreds of slaves, and several masters. So uh, when we actually start the cluster, we need to first set up monitoring service, and it could be Cloudera, it could be Hortonworks, it could be Mapper, or it could be anything. Any leading distribution provides a monitoring tool, or it could be Puppet based monitoring also, setup and monitoring as well. So typically for monitoring, we will have a monitoring database, and then we will have a monitoring server, which will be hosted on, typically they will be on different servers. Monitoring database could be on a different server. Monitoring server will be on a different physical server. And on the same node where you have monitoring server, it is typical that you have monitoring agent also, because you want to monitor that system as well. And then you will have monitoring agent on all your clients as well as slaves. And then when we talk about HDFS, we will have at least two masters, name node and secondary name node, and we will have a data node on each of the slaves, and we will have clients configured to for those for our Hadoop cluster. So typically you will only copy data from the client into HDFS. You will see those how it can be done later. For now, just visualize that you will have a data node daemon process configured on all the slave on all the servers which are designated as slaves, and we'll have name node and secondary name node on two different servers which are designated as masters, and then you have the client, you have the configuration files and binaries deployed on the two client nodes. Same thing applies with the yarn. Yarn requires resource manager for a master, so it will be on a different physical server, and each and every physical server that is designated as slave will have node manager deployed and running all the time on them, and also you need to have configuration files deployed on the servers which are designated as client. And then Zookeeper will be typically installed on 3 nodes. Zookeeper is used as a coordinator service for several things, starting from name node. If you configure your name node in active and passive configuration, then Zookeeper will keep track of both of them, and if active goes down, it will bring up passive as quickly as possible. And also Zookeeper plays role in many other things like configuring HBase. It will help you in Hive. So for almost all the tools, Zookeeper will help in coordinating the services between the masters. So Zookeeper typically helps masters only. It is nothing to do with slaves. And we need to have it on at least 3 nodes. That being said, let's provision 4 nodes. We need to install VMware Workstation. You can go to my playlist. Let me show you. You can go to my channel and playlists, and whatever. So I have several Hadoop administration playlists. One is for Cloudera, one for HDP, etc. So this have if you are looking for HDP, you can go to the designated playlist and see how you can set up VMs. Even for Cloudera, if I prepare a playlist for setting up Cloudera on VMs, which I might do. I will try my level best to do that, and if that is the case, then also I will add these videos. These are reusable videos I can plug in any playlist. So for now, if you want to follow for HDP, you can just go here and set up your PC with VMware Workstation, and also you can create a template before getting to the further steps. And once you have that, once you have the template, you have to clone into 4 VMs, 1 for masters and 3 for slaves. And as I mentioned to you earlier, at least you need to have 16 GB RAM, otherwise you will have nightmare to set this up. So if you do not have, make sure you upgrade your laptop, and if you feel it is too expensive for you, at least you need to invest some money on AWS, and I will be making a playlist to host on AWS also. So so the master should have 4 GB RAM, because it will have several tools which you will look as we move forward, and we need to at least give 2 GB for each of our slaves. So 4 for master and 2 each for 3 slaves, so total 10 GB RAM has to be given to VMs alone. And then especially if you are setting up clusters using Hortonworks distribution, make sure you do not have alphanumeric special characters in the VM names. So when you clone the VMs, you have to name them, and make sure you do not have alphanumeric you only have alphanumeric characters in the names. So let's see how to clone the VMs now, and we will take all the necessary steps to clone the VM, and then we will slowly and steadily we will set up our cluster on our PC. And I hope you will enjoy the playlist. If you have not subscribed yet to my channel, please do so. I will be adding more and more content on many topics, and you will not be disappointed. If you like the video, please like it. If you want to give a feedback or have any technical question, post a comment. And thank you. Bye.